You were told that creating the life of your dreams is complicated, that it requires rituals, endless visualization, precise affirmations, and constant effort to raise your vibration. But what if I told you that quantum manifestation is so simple it almost feels unsettling? So simple that most people get it wrong from the very beginning. Because right now, you are already inside a quantum field, a vast ocean of infinite probabilities. And this field does not respond to your struggle, but to your alignment. Most people approach manifestation as if it were a battle. They try to override their current reality with sheer willpower. They repeat affirmations they don't truly believe. They visualize outcomes while secretly doubting themselves. They force their minds into positive thinking while their bodies remain locked in fear, scarcity, and stress. This is where the system breaks down. In the language of the quantum, forcing equals friction, and friction scrambles the signal. Here is the elegant truth. Manifestation is not about getting what you want. It is about collapsing into the version of reality where you already have it. It's not about changing the external world first, but about embodying the internal frequency that pulls that world towards you. The field already holds every possibility: success and failure, abundance and lack, love and loneliness, health and disease. Each exists as a wave of probability. But those waves don't collapse into physical reality until they are observed with consistency. And that observer is you. Your attention, your emotion, your inner clarity, these are not random experiences. They are sculptors of reality. The problem is that most people observe through fear. They focus on what's missing. They project signals from lack while asking to receive abundance. And in quantum terms, that is not a signal, it is noise. The field responds not to your words, but to your coherence. You were conditioned to chase what you want. But the real art of manifestation is becoming the version of you who no longer needs to chase. The version who already is, already knows, already vibrates as if the outcome were inevitable. That is when the field snaps into alignment. So why don't most people do this? Because the simplicity feels like a trick. Because surrender feels like weakness. Because letting go of the chase feels like giving up. But the paradox is that the moment you stop clutching so tightly, the field can finally deliver. Think back to a time when something came to you effortlessly. Meeting the right person at the perfect moment, stumbling into an opportunity you weren't searching for, receiving inspiration in a flash when you least expected it. The common thread in those moments was not effort, but openness. You were not resisting, you were not forcing, you were available. And in that state, the quantum field could do what it does best: rearrange reality around your alignment. Whether you realize it or not, this process has been happening all along. Manifestation does not read your words. It reads the energy you radiate. You can repeat "I am wealthy" 10,000 times, but if your nervous system is still tuned to survival, if your body is still broadcasting fear, if your heart is still contracted around the idea of lack, the field will mirror that incoherence back to you. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it is precise. The real shift begins when you stop focusing on getting and begin focusing on becoming. You stop forcing the signal, and instead you embody it. You let the state lead, not the struggle. And the key question emerges: what exactly does the field respond to? Is it thought, emotion, belief, action? The truth is that it responds to all of them, but only when they are aligned. Most teachings on manifestation fail because they focus on one layer and neglect the rest. They tell you to think positively while ignoring the trauma stored in your body. They teach you to visualize while your subconscious is still programmed for sabotage. They encourage affirmations of success while your nervous system is braced for failure. But the quantum field listens to the whole signal. It listens to the integrated resonance of your mind, your body, and your spirit vibrating as one. And this is why alignment is not a mental game, but a full system shift. It is not about repeating mantras, it is coherence. It is about letting every layer of your being point in the same direction, until the field has no choice but to collapse into that version of reality. And so the question remains, where in your life are you still pushing so hard that you've become the very resistance you are trying to overcome?
The quantum field is not some distant mystery reserved for scientists in white coats. It is the invisible matrix that surrounds and interpenetrates your life right now. Every possibility, every version of your future, exists there as a wave of probability waiting to be observed. The observer effect in quantum physics shows that the simple act of observation collapses a wave into a particle, turning potential into form. But what most people do not realize is that you are not just observing with your conscious thoughts. You are observing with your subconscious mind, the hidden projector that runs almost 95% of your reality. You might consciously desire wealth, health, or love, but if your subconscious is saturated with fear, unworthiness, or trauma, it is this hidden observer that collapses reality on your behalf. That is why someone can affirm abundance all day, yet keep experiencing scarcity. The signal underneath is not coherent. This is where heart-brain coherence becomes vital. Scientists and spiritual teachers like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton remind us that when the heart and brain move into harmony, the electromagnetic field you broadcast becomes stable, powerful, and precise. It is no longer scattered noise. It becomes a beacon. And the quantum field always mirrors back the clarity of your signal. Think of love. You do not manifest love by repeating words. You manifest it by embodying the state of being loved, radiating it from your chest until the field has no choice but to reflect it in your relationships. Think of health. You do not heal by obsessing over disease. You heal by aligning your body, mind, and spirit with the felt sense of vitality, training your cells to resonate with wholeness. Think of abundance. It does not arrive because you force money to come. It flows when your nervous system can actually feel safe receiving more. This is why coherence matters, because without it, your conscious intention and subconscious program are at war, and the field can only respond to the stronger frequency. And most often, the stronger frequency is fear. To change this, you must not only think new thoughts, but also feel them, breathe them, live them until your whole being agrees. Manifestation is not a mental trick. It is an act of embodiment. The quantum field is precise, and it listens most closely to the vibration that runs deepest in you. The question then is whether you are ready to move beyond thought alone and let your body and heart become the signal that collapses the future you truly desire.
Most people fail at manifestation, not because they don't try hard enough, but because they try too hard in the wrong way. This is the control trap, the constant obsession with monitoring results, forcing reality to bend, and attempting to push the field into submission. You tell yourself one affirmation, "I am abundant," while deep inside your body vibrates scarcity.
The words echo, but the energy never lies. The quantum field mirrors frequency, not language. This trap is rooted in conditioning. From an early age, society teaches that struggle equals worthiness, that only by forcing, hustling, and grinding do you deserve results. But the field doesn't respond to effort in that sense. It responds to coherence. When you are aligned, things flow with an ease that feels almost unfair compared to the struggle you've been conditioned to believe in. Yet, when you obsessively check the soil for the seed you planted, you suffocate its ability to grow. Here's the paradox. 95% of your life is run on subconscious autopilot. That means most of your energy isn't even directed by conscious thought, but by unconscious programs and nervous system patterns you didn't choose. You can chant affirmations daily, but if your body is still broadcasting fear, doubt, or unworthiness, the field responds to that signal. This is why affirmations alone rarely work. They do not penetrate the nervous system unless your state shifts. Consider abundance. If you say, "I am wealthy," but tense every time you open your bank account, your body is affirming lack. If you say, "I am loved," but close your heart out of fear of rejection, your vibration is still loneliness. The field listens to embodiment, not performance. The real work, then, is not to force reality, but to regulate your inner state so that abundance, love, and health feel safe to inhabit, even before they appear. That is why the most powerful examples of manifestation come when people embody the energy ahead of time, acting generous before wealth, opening their hearts before the relationship, caring for their bodies before the healing arrives. And here lies the paradoxical secret. The moment you stop needing the outcome, reality begins to flow. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the addiction to control so that the field can finally mirror back the frequency you truly are.
Here is the central truth most people miss. Manifestation is never about what you want. It is always about what you are. Desire alone is like tuning a radio to the wrong frequency and expecting to hear your favorite song. The quantum field does not respond to longing. It responds to resonance. Think of yourself as a transmitter. Your thoughts may say one thing, but your breath, body, and unconscious loops broadcast a deeper signal. If your frequency is scattered, mind thinking abundance, heart feeling fear, body holding stress, the field simply reflects that incoherence. But when thought, feeling, and action fall into harmony, even for a brief moment, reality begins to bend. Coherence is not perfection. The field doesn't require flawless alignment 24/7. It only needs moments of genuine resonance. Those moments are like cracks in the illusion, openings through which new timelines slip in. A single breath taken with presence, a hand placed on your heart, a conscious choice to act as your future self would. These small shifts ripple far beyond what your mind can measure. Consider the metaphor of tuning. If you want to hear jazz, you cannot keep the dial stuck on static. In the same way, you cannot broadcast scarcity while asking for abundance, or embody resentment while longing for love. The quantum field is neutral. It amplifies whatever frequency you consistently inhabit. This is why bypassing emotions never works. You cannot cover fear with positive words, or mask grief with forced optimism. The energy beneath will still vibrate through the field. Instead, emotions must be embraced, honored, and felt fully, because only then can they transform. When fear is acknowledged, it often melts into trust. When grief is allowed space, it turns into love. By bringing shadow into light, coherence naturally arises.
Practical shifts make this real. Take a pause before reacting and breathe into your heart. Ask yourself, what would the future me do right now? Maybe the future you invests in health instead of stress. Maybe they open to connection instead of shutting down. Each choice tunes your signal closer to that frequency. The truth is simple yet radical. You don't manifest by chasing, forcing, or endlessly desiring. You manifest by becoming the resonance of what you seek. And once you embody it, the field has no choice to reflect it back. Embodiment is where theory dissolves into lived experience. It is one thing to understand the mechanics of manifestation, but another to feel them flowing through your body every single day. Without embodiment, knowledge stays in the mind. With embodiment, it becomes frequency. Your body is the compass. It tells you instantly when you slip out of alignment through tension, fatigue, irritability, or the urge to grasp for control. Instead of ignoring these signals, embodiment means listening. A morning ritual can anchor this. Breath work to regulate your nervous system, movement to awaken energy, or a moment of stillness with your hand on your heart to reconnect with coherence. But embodiment is not just an individual practice, it is relational. Energy spreads socially. When you enter a room with gratitude, generosity, or vulnerability, others feel it. Co-regulation happens when your nervous system steadies another's and theirs steadies yours. This is why community is a hidden multiplier in manifestation. Your environment reinforces your frequency. Emotional mastery grows here as well. Many people mistake mastery for suppression, but true mastery means allowing emotions to move without letting them control you. Wobbling is natural. You will fall out of alignment at times. The power lies not in never falling, but in how quickly you return. Fear can become trust when breathed into. Lack can shift into abundance when gratitude is practiced. Every return strengthens your baseline frequency. Practical ways help anchor this truth. Keep a gratitude journal to train your awareness toward abundance. Practice generosity, not as performance, but as a declaration that you already have enough to share. Lean into vulnerability, allowing your authentic self to be seen, because hiding is always rooted in fear. These micro-choices are not small. They are tuning forks that broadcast coherence into the field. Embodiment is a practice, not a one-time achievement. Each morning, each interaction, each emotional wobble is another chance to choose the frequency you want to live in. Over time, the body learns safety in abundance, ease in love, and trust in health. This is the soil in which manifestation takes root. And so the invitation is simple. Pause and reflect. What timeline are you tuned into right now? The answer is not found in your words, but in the energy your body carries into this very moment. Manifestation is not a performance. It is a practice. Too often it becomes a show. Perfect affirmations, endless rituals, or vision boards displayed as proof. Yet the quantum does not respond to performance. It responds to the frequency you consistently embody. Life will test this. Old patterns will reappear, and doubt will whisper when external evidence hasn't yet caught up. These are not failures, but invitations to deepen trust. True mastery is holding coherence even when nothing outside confirms it, choosing to remain in alignment when the old story tries to pull you back. There is no final arrival point. This work is a living, breathing unfolding. You are the wave and the particle, the observer and the field. To live as a co-creator is to recognize that you were never separate from the universe at all. So here is the closing invitation. Choose one word, just one, that becomes your declaration. Perhaps it is love, perhaps abundance, perhaps trust. Let that word take root in your body as an anchor, a seed of frequency. Carry it quietly and notice how reality begins to mirror it back. Thank you for walking this journey with me today. If this message resonates with you, I'd be deeply grateful if you liked this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. Every interaction helps this community of awakened souls grow stronger. Remember, you don't need to force the field. You only need to become the resonance of what you seek. And when you do, the universe cannot help but respond.